Welcome to Got Grass, conversations with the legends and leaders of bluegrass. You've enjoyed live bluegrass at Guitar Town CT concerts in Hamden, Connecticut since 2008. From Tony Rice, Rouse Stanley, and Doyle Lawson to Tim O'Brien, Sierra Hall, and Billy Strings. Now you can go behind the scenes as we chat with your favorite bluegrass stars. I'm your podcast host, Chris Worth. My guest today on Got Grass is Brittany Haas. So welcome, Brittany.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Chris.
I'm in Hamden, CT. Where are you?
I'm in Nashville, TN.
Nashville, TN, and that's where you live now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I always start out with a non-musical question, which some people have a hard time with, which is, what do you do on a day off when there's no fiddle around? Like, what do you like to do in your spare days, if you have any?
Yeah, well, today it's a beautiful day. The spring is happening. So I've been out in the garden. I like doing that. Been pruning berry bushes, and I made some juice earlier. I don't know, I guess like some domestic things like that.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. We still have about 10 inches of snow on the ground here, so I can't really do any gardening yet. I'm a big gardener too, but it's just a little early. But it is nice today. It feels like spring.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So pretty much everyone I talk to on this podcast grew up surrounded by music of some sort. And I assume that's probably true for you.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the sort of music you grew up with?
Started with classical music. That was my first thing that I was doing, was when I was a tiny kid, was playing Suzuki violin. Actually, first it was a Cracker Jack box with a ruler taped to it, and you learn how to stand that whole thing. And then it was, the classical pieces like Go Tell Aunt Rhody. I don't know, like the Suzuki books start with these really simple pieces, and then you work your way up. And then at some point I met Jack Tuttle, and I started taking bluegrass fiddle lessons on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And that was...
So were you interested in classical violin, or were you just being kind of pushed by parents who were interested in it for you?
I wasn't not interested. I mean, I think it was just a fun thing to do. My little friend, when we were 4 years old, he wanted to play the violin, so that was why it happened. But it was just a fun activity that we did. But I really liked it, and I had a good teacher. So I think because it was fun, I was pretty hooked. But I got really more seriously invested when I found fiddling.
Mm-hmm. My wife and I just went to see Itzhak Perlman in a little show he does. He's doing a solo. Well, he has an accompanist, but he basically is talking about his life growing up in Israel and a lot of videos, and he plays. He said, when I was little, I hated to practice. So I had a teacher who was teaching me this percussive stuff on the fiddle, on the violin. So I would just go in my room and just like tap the fiddle absentmindedly while I was watching video games, and to keep his mom from coming in, because she thought he was practicing, because he was just banging on the strings with his bow.
That's amazing.
It was funny, yeah, funny.
Cool.
So you found out about bluegrass through Jack Tuttle, right? Who I guess was a pretty influential California bluegrass guy. I mean, not only his own family, but he was involved in lots of stuff out there, right?
Yes, yeah, and just a really epic teacher. He taught every single instrument and for decades, and just introduced me to the whole scene. And he hosted jams, and he would hire his students to come play for square dancing. It was just a very like immersive, fun thing.
Yeah. Did you have a like a bluegrass fiddle hero at that point, or someone you heard and said, "Wow, that's pretty cool the way he or she is playing"?
I mean, I loved Stuart Duncan, Kenny Baker too. I don't think I really fell in love with a fiddler until I heard Bruce Molsky, though. That was the most like direct gut feeling that I had in response to fiddle playing.
Yeah. So that kind of fiddling, which is pretty different from classical and Suzuki, that just floated your boat in a certain emotional way, or you just loved it?
It was just fun. I don't know. It felt very free and exploratory, and then there was this whole scene around it, the community aspect of it that was really cool because I was super into it, but a lot of the time it was just me doing it, or in the lesson with Jack and he would play guitar. But then we started going to this Scottish fiddle camp run by Alistair Fraser in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and that was where I kind of like saw the whole world around it, and it was like, oh, you could stay up all night jamming, and there's dancing that goes with the music and all these different instruments and singing, and yeah, so that community and like other young people doing it, that made it all the more exciting.
Yeah. That kind of bluegrass or old time or whatever Scots-Irish community is
Hmm.
so important to the music. Is there such a thing in classical music? People just get around and play Bach trios and stuff, or is that not really part of the scene in classical music?
I mean, I had a youth orchestra, so that was a communal thing. But I think sometimes, like this, people will have sight reading, like chamber music party kind of things. So I think it can happen, although maybe a little bit less.
Did you improvise at all in your classical playing, or was that just still kind of forbidden?
I guess I kept them pretty separate. My violin teacher was not thrilled that I was getting so deeply into fiddling. She thought that it
Mm,
was my technique was suffering, which I mean, in fairness to her, it probably was, but it just kind of became like a different thing. It became more functional than like, okay, I must do this technique because I'm going to be doing all these crazy difficult things. It was like, yes,
hmm
I use like I'm glad I had that technique because I think it's set me up well. But there are certain things that you just don't need. So it was okay to kind of meld my technique into
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
else.
both Darol Anger and Bruce Molsky have played here, and Darol was on my podcast.
Oh,
Darol is a very funny man.
yes, he
He's,
is.
he's a very, I'm sure you know better than anybody, right? Very entertaining and
Totally.
sophisticated and crazy at the same time.
Totally, yeah. Crazy genius for
Yeah.
sure. And a sweetie.
He had this group called Republic of Strings, I guess, which was already going when he asked you to join, or
No,
were
it
you
was
part of the formation of it?
as part of the formation of it. He was playing already with Scott Nygaard, the great guitar player, who was living
Mhm.
in the Bay Area at the time. And then he wanted to put together a sort of a string quartet-esque thing with guitar. And so he got me because I was studying with him, and then
Mhm.
Rashad, who had just started at Berklee College of Music, but he was, from the area, so it made sense to get him in there.
So this is Rashad Eggleston.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to ask you about him because he's also played around here quite a few times.
Cool.
When he a lot of solo stuff where he would, you know how he got on his own, pretty wild with his
Yeah.
strapped on cello and doing somersaults and everything, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Was he wild then when he was younger, or did
He
he kind of
was,
evolve into that?
I think he evolved into it, but I mean, it was always somewhat there. He was definitely very experimental and hilarious and um, just kind of always joking around and, jumping over stuff. And he hadn't, I don't think he was doing the strap thing yet. He was still sitting down to play back then.
Yeah. Did he wear those funny caps?
That was pre-hat, actually.
Oh, because when I think of him, I think of that like kind of green like elf hat or whatever it was
Totally.
that
Yeah.
he would wear.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Um,
trademark. No.
I saw a funny video. You've probably seen it on YouTube where he was jamming with I think Chris Thiele and some bluegrass people in some bluegrass songs, and they were kind of looking at him like, hmm, what who is this guy? I don't know. It just yeah, I guess he's not your classic bluegrass player.
Not exactly, but I mean he can hang with the best of them. He's such a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
musician.
And then was Crooked still kind of the next step in your music evolution?
Yes,
And
I also got when I moved out east to go to college, and I met Tony Trischka at that time as well.
uh,
So that was kind of like it was like Daryl's. I quit Daryl's band so I could go off to college. Then I started playing with Tony. Then I started playing with Crooked Still, and then
hmm
finished school and just was on the road full time with Crooked Still for a couple of years.
yeah. It's funny and great how Tony Trischka has kind of become, I don't know, he's kind of like the cool guy in bluegrass now. Everybody wants to
Yeah.
play with him. I mean, he always was, but he's older and he's been around a long time, but all these young people want to hang out with him and play with him, and he looks very rejuvenated.
Totally. Yeah, he's a legend and he's so fun. He just makes it really joyful. And he's great at hiring young folks in his band.
Yeah, yeah. So, I know bluegrass traditionally um, was a pretty male chauvinistic kind of business. I've talked to some people, women who have been in it for a while, like Missy Raines and Rhonda and even Alice Gerrard, who faced certain kinds of treatment because they were female.
Mhm.
Either they weren't taken seriously, or I mean, Missy famously said she was leading her band. She went to the promoter to get paid, and he said, "No, I need to talk to the band leader." She said, "I am the band leader." He said, "I have to talk to a guy. I can't." He just didn't want to pay her because she was a woman. Any of
Wow.
that kind of stuff ever happen? I mean, you grew up in a much later era, but
Yeah.
anything happened to you like that where they kind of took you a little less seriously because you were female?
I
Did you
mean, I
recall?
think there's definitely like an undercurrent of that a lot of the time because it's just still such a part of our culture. But no, I would say on the whole, I've been lucky in that, so many women paved the way, and I had great female role models, both in the bluegrass world, like being in California around Laurie Lewis and people like that. Also in the Celtic world, there's a lot of amazing female musicians. So I had people to look up to, even though I was often the only woman like in a band. But I think because I got into it so young, like it was like almost I was like a kid, not a girl. Like I was like
Uh,
not treated differently, I think.
you weren't seen as any kind of competition because you were so young, maybe. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Or I don't know. I just think I kind of lucked out with the way that I got into it, and I was with very generous mentors who I don't think treated me any differently for being female. And yeah, I mean whatever. Like it's been a struggle, but
hmm
that's life, right?
Yeah, let's as David Peterson says, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Um, I never went to college, but my both my father and his brother and my grandfather went to Princeton, and
Oh,
I know
nice.
you went there to study something pretty uh sounded like pretty difficult study. Did you have a at that point were you still not sure you were going to be a pro musician, or were you like looking for a career that wasn't in music if you needed it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I was just sort of following. I was privileged enough that I could just kind of like go study something without being like, this is definitely going to be my career path. And I think I was a little bit, yeah, uncertain if music was definitely the way to go. Like I didn't have a real sense of like how that translated into a working life. Um, but yeah, I mean, I got to like explore science stuff. But then it was like I couldn't not play music. I think at the point when I was deciding what to do, it was like it was daunting to think about going to music school because I worried that that would not be fun or like it would kill my love for music. Which in hindsight, I don't think that would have been the case, but whatever. That was the choice that I made, and it's worked out great. I mean, I think it was nice to just pursue general studies and
hmm
remember that you can be like a whole human, not just a musician.
Quite a few of people I talked to on this podcast said that I said, "Did you decide to be a musician?" They said, "No, I just realized who was I talking to? I think Kristen Scott Benson." Said, "I realized at age 30 that I was a professional musician, but I never intended to be when I just played because I love to play. I never made a decision, this is what I'm going to do, be a bluegrass banjo player. But I suddenly realized, hey, I guess that's what I am." And then, I think a lot of people also just went into it um, with family bands and stuff. So by the time they were 8, they were already experienced on stage, and that's just what you did, right?
Yeah, totally.
Back in
Yeah.
the day, yeah, yeah. People like Rhonda Vincent and so forth. Just, I mean, at 5, I think she was performing with her family band and
Oh my gosh.
just playing the tambourine or something. I don't know, but
Amazing.
um, so there's people actually younger than you making a big impact on the bluegrass scene these days. People like Molly and Sierra Hall and Billy Strings.
Hmm.
I assume you like where the music is going with those people? I mean, a lot of them are. Billy Strings seems to be pretty traditional, even given all of his pedals and his gear. He's pretty much a Doc Watson player.
Yeah.
Sierra and Molly seem to like have gone into different directions with drums and other kinds of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, you have a thought on that?
Um, I don't know. I guess I feel like we're in it. And it's like hard to judge at this moment where
Mm.
where it's even gonna go next. But I mean, I think it's just a testament to the music that there's so many people that are fired up and so
Mm.
deeply influenced by it, but also trying to just be themselves and carry it forward.
Yeah. Did you ever play in a band with drums in it in your
Um,
career?
Not, no, not in a long term, like a longer form situation.
Yeah.
But I love drummers. I sometimes actually I'm about to go play some gigs with this percussive dancer, which is almost like
Mm.
being in a band with a drummer.
Hmm.
So that's fun. I mean, yeah, it's awesome. Like rhythm is amazing, and drummers are
Yeah.
very cool.
Did you ever try the John Hartford stuff where you dance around on a plywood thing and play and sing at the same time?
Not quite. I mean, I think it's amazing, and if I was ever trying to do a solo show, maybe I would try to make that a part of it. But I mean, it's not easy to do.
Yeah, that's any two of those things would be hard, but three together seems almost, I mean, to me, the fiddle seems impossible just by itself. So, not being a fiddle player. And I want to talk about the fiddle a little bit because it does fascinate me and a lot of people.
Mhm.
Does it fascinate you, or is it just at this point your instrument that you like to play for the music's sake?
No, it still fascinates me. I think it's infinitely deep. There's so many things you can do with it, and I'm always learning more. Is sometimes like by trying other instruments or just, I mean, even playing other instruments and then coming back to the fiddle. And I don't know, there's just always more to know. My fiddle just got its first crack in it, so that was an interesting learning experience.
Oh, is that
Um,
from drying out maybe, or is it just age or
yeah, winter and the dryness.
yeah? Do you have to humidify that? Like, do you have it in a special
I need to be
location or
better
something?
about that. Yeah, I have since
Mm.
purchased more humidifying things.
It's funny. I just had Jake Eddy, the guitar player, has been here playing, and he did a workshop here. And so he had this guitar. I think it's like a 1939 Martin that he just paid a fortune for. And
Mm,
people were asking him, "What do you do to take care of it?" He said, "Nothing." So you don't
mm.
humidify it? Nope, I don't do anything to it. But
Ooh,
his theory is that, it's old, the wood is old, it was old age when it started, and the guitar is, 90 years old, and it's done
wow.
what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And people were kind of surprised to hear that, especially since he paid like 120 grand for it. But
Wow.
yeah, that he just said, no, I don't touch it. I don't humidify it. I don't mess with it. It just is what it is. So,
Dang.
but I guess most people have to do take care of their instruments a little more carefully than that.
Right. I mean, I always thought my
Uh,
fiddle was invincible because it had survived 20 years with no problems.
yeah.
But not so.
Your fiddle looks like it's been through some battles. That it seems like the finish is gone in lots of spots, right?
Yes,
It,
yeah, it's sitting right here. Like the I know this isn't a video thing, but the varnish
yeah,
recipe that he used to use when he made this instrument, the maker's
yeah.
name is John Silkowski. He just passed away a few years ago, but the varnish
Oh,
just comes off really easily, so everywhere where I've touched it, it's gone.
oh, I was wondering about that because it looks like it's been through a flood or something. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a natural process. It's just kind of devarnishing itself,
Yep, exactly.
and you're not going to do anything about that. You're just going to leave it alone.
It's okay. Yeah, the one time I got to meet the maker, he said, "Don't worry about it. You know, it's not bare wood. It's still okay."
Yeah. Did he make it for you, or is it just one he had that you loved?
I had bought previously another instrument of his through the violin shop in Nashville, and that was pre-owned. And then this one I got from him directly. He had
Mm.
just made it, and I've had it now
Yeah.
for like 21 years.
Got you. So you have on the end of your head of your fiddle, you have it, the red
Yeah,
thing,
little
and I
rose.
don't know what it is, and I know it must be symbolic of something, but it sticks with you, right, all the time.
Yeah, I love it. It's a,
Is it
it's
a
a paper
flower or?
flower. It's a
Oh,
paper
I see.
flower that my mom made.
So it has an emotional connection to her.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just kind of become my trademark now, I guess.
Yeah. So did you and your sister ever switch instruments? Like you played a cello and she plays the fiddle
Yeah,
over
we
time?
try. She's
Tried?
she's pretty good at fiddle, unfortunately.
And you on cello? Is
It's
that
a little harder. It's yeah, playing in tune is a challenge.
more so than fiddle on the cello?
It's just like it's such a big, it feels
So
like a
big.
huge stretch for me. but I
Yeah.
enjoy trying.
Yeah. So that five-string fiddle is very popular with fiddle players these days.
Hmm.
I know Darol plays one. A lot of people play them. Would you ever go back to the regular four, or is you pretty much hooked on this style now?
I'm pretty hooked, although I mean, when you play a really nice four string, it does different things. So I understand like why some people like those. I mean, like that is the that is the classic way. And the G string, you can dig into the G string more when you don't have a C string there to accidentally hit. Um,
Right.
so yeah, they're just different.
Yeah. Is that usually a standard tuning with a five-string fiddle, or do you mess around with different tunings like a four-string might?
I mess around a bit, but I generally just stick to the fifths because it's easier for my brain, and also, you don't have to keep switching it around during a show.
Right. So when you're playing with a band, and you're learning new songs, is everything always written out now in young bands? Everyone's reading, or is it a lot of it still done by ear? And this is
No,
how it
I'd say
goes. And
most things are by ear.
most things by ear still. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though so many young players do read, are trained in some way that they can sight read some stuff, maybe not everything, but
Right. Yeah, I guess maybe if you were like if it was more of a like a session or something that where you had to learn quickly, then you might be reading, but generally
yeah,
it's just, you figure it out by ear.
yeah. You play a lot of different styles of fiddle. Do you ever get confused or have a problem switching between, I don't know, different, like, I don't know, are they that different? I mean, I know you play whatever, a lot of different styles. You could probably tell me all the names, but
I mean, that's a
I've
cool
seen lots
question.
of things.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of overlap in things, and I think you can kind of choose to blend them more seamlessly, but I don't know. I guess I think I can like separate the different parts, the things that I associate with the different styles like kind of comes out when I do it like on demand. So yeah, I don't know if that I get confused or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's like I don't know what should I do here.
I mean, bluegrass and jazz obviously are based on improvisation over a melody or a lyric or something. A lot of
Mhm.
these other styles are not, right? You kind of have to follow the pattern. So do you ever
Right.
find yourself in an old time situation, start jamming away on a tune and say, "Whoa, I'm not supposed to be doing this"?
Yeah, I mean, I think these days people are like a little more lax about that, like especially when you're jamming, nobody's gonna get too mad at you for playing. I don't know. As long as you're like sensitive to not just playing really loud over everything or,
Uh,
slowing when it's really not appropriate.
yeah, there's some Irish sessions here that friends of mine play in, and I think they learned the hard way that you get that look if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
Especially these traditional Irish players, and you start playing a little something different, or they look at you like, or maybe they say you're not invited back. It can be pretty strict in some of those situations if you really
Totally.
have to
Yeah.
follow the rules.
Yeah, generally I'm like just happy to be in whatever the situation is, and it's like if it's something that, I'm not the pro at, then I'm happy to learn and follow the other fiddlers because that feels like a good exercise anyways.
Yeah, you seem to get pleasure out of playing music. You seem to be always smiling and stomping your foot, and I have this feeling that a lot of younger players, well, not a feeling, things I've seen,
Hmm.
are kind of serious.
Hmm.
Some of these people that come out of Berkeley or whatever
Hmm.
are very good players, but they seem to kind of not have that emotion sometimes. They're so focused on the technique and the music and the interplay that they're sometimes seem like they're not having that much fun. At least
Interesting.
as a viewer, I'm sure they are because
Yeah.
playing music is fun. But I sense that to me, like when a band's smiling and having fun and having interplay and joking around, it's much more entertaining than straight faced, no comments, no banter. I don't know, just
Right.
something I noticed with a lot of younger bands that, the older bands, especially in bluegrass, there was always a lot of chit chat and somebody was making jokes and kind of moving things along. And I don't know, it's just a sense I get today.
Interesting. I hadn't noticed that as like a trend. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope they're still having fun.
You're definitely not part of it. I've
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
noticed.
even I think even when I'm in a bad mood or like when something is up interpersonally or whatever, it's like once you get out there and you're just playing, hopefully that fades away, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it not being. Even if you're depressed or whatever, that when you get with people and play music, I can't imagine you would stay in that state very long.
Yeah,
It's
I
just a
find it
joyous
very
thing.
totally, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Especially I notice when you're playing with Darol and he does that chop that's crazy rhythm chops he does. I've seen one video of you. I think it was I don't know what it was, melt the tea kettle or something. He started off the song with chopping with his bow, like doing this wild rhythm, and you just like had the biggest grin on your face, like whoa. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know he's famous for his chop stuff. He's really into it.
Yeah, he still amazes me. He's endlessly inventive.
Yeah. Um, Talking about the fiddle itself, are there things that you still struggle with on the fiddle, like intonation or double stops, or do you feel like does that depend on the situation or the weather or whatever, or is it do you s- or you
The
just got it
weather.
down?
No, I know. I mean, no, it's always a work in progress, I would say. And if you don't practice for a while, things leave that you thought you could do. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's always like with new music, I think you find new challenges that you didn't even necessarily know were going to be a challenge. Like I've been playing with Ben Garnett, this actually
Mm.
he's the guitar player in Missy Rains's band. He's
Yeah.
got a couple solo records and he writes some intricate instrumental music, kind of like a la Punch Brothers or Hawktail, like and that there's certain like licks on the guitar that are like almost impossible to play on the fiddle. I don't know
Hmm.
why. Um, but yeah, it's like you don't even know what's going to be hard until you try it, I guess, which is the beauty of always having something new to learn. Um,
Yeah.
Playing fast, to playing over different chord progressions, remembering chord progressions, that's a hard one for me. I think coming from like the fiddle brain, it's like a
Hmm.
lot less um, harmonically based. Like you're playing melodies and you're playing over the top of stuff. You don't always have to know exactly what's going on chordally.
Hmm.
But when the harmony gets more complex, it gets more important to know about that. So yeah, there's always more to learn.
Yeah. I do some classes here at a local music school, and there's some classical fiddle players who are older. And yeah, the whole chord thing is really not something that they are familiar with. I say it's in G, it's 1 4 5 in G. They go, wait a minute, what do you mean it's in G? What are it's in G because I'm a guitar player, so or piano. I think in terms of chords.
Right.
Obviously, fiddle, you're not thinking in terms of chords, right? You're thinking in terms of notes, and
Yeah.
so it's a whole different approach. I have to say that even though a lot of guitar things are not playable on fiddle, I think the reverse is true too.
Hmm.
A
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of fiddle tunes are really hard on guitar.
Right.
I've noticed. Yeah, Ben has played here quite a few times with Missy, and his trio played here. One of the first, I think it was the first gig they played on this tour that you were on, and then we went to see you with him in Providence at some like a little bar place in East Providence, Rhode Island,
Mm.
a few months ago. He
Was it
played
the
here.
art
He played in New York
gallery?
City.
Yeah.
It was a weird little East Providence neighborhood with a bar, and I don't know, it's kind of
I'm
a funky
blanking
place.
what that was, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I know Ben quite well, and I mean his music and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty intricate,
It's so awesome. Yeah, the one I
but
was
it's
talking about
cool.
that's really hard is called Open Your Books.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I played it on the record, but then it was like when I had to learn it for the tour, I was like, I don't know. It's impossible.
Yeah. Is there a particular key on the fiddle that you find that you love more, either is more emotional or sonically better? Like, is there a favorite key for a fiddle player
Um,
like you?
it changes sometimes. I really love E. I also love E flat, A flat. Like the flat keys are very warm and like
Hmm.
fuzzy in a nice way. But I mean D, the kind of typical fiddle keys are satisfying because you get the open string resonance. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard keyboard players or classical players say that certain keys like E flat or have certain emotional quality that you wouldn't have in G or A. It's just I don't know if it's just something I don't know what it is. Is
I
it
don't know
real or is it
either.
just like imagined or
I don't
I don't
know
know.
either. I remember having discussions with somebody like because I have like perfect pitch or whatever you want to call that. I think there's a different term for it now. doesn't use the word perfect.
Perfect is verboten word now. You're not
Yeah.
perfect. You're just like
But
you're
like for
above
people that
average
don't
pitch.
like relate to pitch so like specifically, I'm like, oh, of course that's a B flat because it sounds
Hmm.
like that. But they're like, no, it's just a note. Like, um,
Hmm.
but I do feel that like the emotional connection of certain keys, and I don't know why it is.
Mm. Is there a key that for you is the worst key on the fiddle that you really would rather avoid?
Like I would say C sharp major.
Oh, wait, is there a certain piece that you had to learn in that key that you really didn't want to learn, or is that?
No, it's just kind of it feels between like it's the furthest extreme in both the sharp and the flat directions. So it's
Hmm.
just kind of breaks my brain a little.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I noticed that I was watching one of these videos with you playing with Darol, and he seems to play with a very loose wrist, a lot of wrist movement, and you seem to play with a lot more arm movement. Is that just personal preference, or is that training, or is that? It's very
Good
noticeable. I,
question.
I didn't really think about it. I was watching the video. I said, "Wait a minute, Daryl's not moving his arm at all. It's all almost all on his wrist, and you're moving your arm like completely on the same, playing with him the same melody." And I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was just something that you do differently, or is it?
Not on purpose. I mean, I've watched him play, and I used to try to play in the way that he was playing, but I guess I didn't. I didn't get it. I ended up with my own way about it, and I think his way, the looseness is like really beneficial in the long term in terms of your body and the
Mm,
effort that you're expending. And I'm not uh having serious problems, but I could see that happening down the line. And I think, it's like the more tension you have, the worse it's going to be. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you don't have tendonitis in your shoulder, but you think about it
Think
down in the
about it. Yeah,
future.
I'm trying, I'm about to turn 40, so I'm like starting to be like, okay, I need to take better care of my body and go to the physical therapist and, lay on the foam roller and that kind of
All
stuff.
the things you don't do when you're young, you don't even think about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're about to take a solo, whether it's bluegrass or even with a band like, Ben or Punch Brothers, um, it's, somebody's finishing theirs or the chorus is just finished, you're about to start. Are you thinking of lots of things at that point, or are you trying to like have an empty mind and just go with the go with your inner flow, or is it depend on the song and the conditions and stuff?
Depends on the song, the conditions, and how difficult and how well prepared I am for that moment, I guess. But ideally, yes, I would be trying to go for the flow of it and not be thinking, okay, what's happening? How many bars of this chord,
Yeah.
but more like, okay, like I'm bringing myself in this moment and I'm going to express myself here. That would be the ideal. I don't always reach that. I actually one time I went on one of those 10-day silent meditation retreats. And when I
Hmm.
came out of it, I went straight on tour. Um, I almost instantly lost all the benefits that I gained from it. But the first show, I felt like I reached a new realm of improvising because my mind was I had such a clean slate up there
Mm.
instead of all the constant chatter. So I think there's something to that, to getting to that flow state.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that if you're playing a complicated song with lots of changes and a weird time signature, you probably have to really focus on, like, let's say it's in 7/4 or something. You almost have to like count it in your head, right? Because it's so easy to go
Totally.
off. I mean, here, even in bluegrass, 4/4 is sometimes easy to go off on a solo because there's the little phrasing and stuff of a vocal line. It's not always, there's an extra measure, an extra two beats here or something. And
Mhm.
I find that in these jams and classes I do that when people don't play the melody, it's very easy for the group to get lost because now
Yes.
you're off somewhere and where are you and when are you coming back? Kind of.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to kind of zone into maybe the guitar or somebody who's like holding it down structurally, or you just
Hmm.
have to know the forms so well that you can still feel your way through it.
Right. But I mean, you play with so many different people and so many different songs and types that it must be hard to know everything down pat when you're
Yeah,
playing.
I think a lot of the time I am just reacting. I'm trying to like stay in the moment and be able to go elsewhere when I get lost or if I think
Yeah.
somebody else is off and I thought I was on and like going to them as quickly as possible. Actually, this it sometimes happens with me and my sister where we get off and both of us like react so quickly that we're still off. Like we
Mm.
both try to go to each other.
I see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, interesting. I think I'm thinking of both fiddle and banjo. They're very technical instruments. I mean, guitar and mandolin and bass are, I think, more straightforward. Just not as many things, moving parts.
Hmm.
Um, does the technical part of fiddle playing ever kind of get in the way of the musical part of it? Like you're focusing so much on, I don't know, fingerings and bow strokes and that kind of stuff, or do you don't you kind of beyond that stuff?
No, I don't think I'm beyond it. I mean, I think depends on what the music is, but I think I've felt that like in Punch Brothers, for example, like that I'm still new to that situation and there's a lot of technical demands, a lot of kind of like being asked to do things that I haven't necessarily done before.
Mm.
So yes, I can sometimes get a little bit bogged down in the just the physicality of like, you want me to do what? And like that feels so weird, and I haven't done that enough times to like
Mm.
have it feel like music. But I think that's part of the process, and that's a cool thing about that band that they're pushing so hard in this like novel direction that is a part of the process where you're like it feels like math. It doesn't feel like we're playing music, but then you get to where it feels like music. You just have to keep pushing in that direction and um
Yeah.
learn new skills.
Yeah. Is that the toughest part about, learning to play with like the Punch Brothers and tour with them is just all the intricacies of the complicated songs you have to actually remember and memorize over and over and over. You don't use music with them when you're performing, do you? Or do you?
No, I mean, when I first joined the band, I had a few little like notes to myself about like forms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the memorizing the old music that I wasn't present for it being written, like that's definitely a lot harder for me than like the new stuff we've been making together, even though that is challenging too. But yeah, um, the intricacies, the reaction, the like joining something where other people have been playing together already for a long time and they have that like comfort with each other, and I just feel like I'm on the outside and I don't necessarily know what's going on.
Yeah. Was there ever a doubt when they asked you to join the band that you would do it? Did you ever think, I don't know if I want to, if I'm up for this, or I'm happy with what I'm doing, or was it just like, yes?
I mean, I think I felt like I couldn't say no.
Hmm.
Like it was too big of an opportunity.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, any choice you make comes with other things that you're
Right.
not able to
Yeah.
do.
Second thoughts or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a funny story. They played here quite a while ago, maybe 2009 or 10. I think that album had just come out, the first famous one, and they were rehearsing. They even had a classical violin player playing with them. They were about to go to Carnegie Hall from when
Well,
they played here. So it was the Punch Brothers featuring Chris Thile at the time, or
mhm.
so I thought. So I did the posters and I did all the programs, Punch Brothers featuring Chris Thile. And they had their manager with them, and he came up to me and said, "What is this?" I said, "This is the program." I said, "You can't say featuring Chris Thile. It's just a group now. You can't mention him." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "No, he took all the programs and wouldn't let me hand them out at the
Whoa.
show
Okay.
because they were trying to, I guess at one point Chris Thile was the draw, and now it was just the Punch Brothers, and
Mhm.
he got really mad. I was like, whoa. It was a crazy memory. Like he actually took the posters, I mean the programs, and wouldn't let me hand them out. He
Well,
was that. He
yeah,
was that. He was that controlling. I don't know who it was. I forget. But
interesting. Yeah, I guess sometimes in the moment those things feel really important, but in hindsight, you're
yeah,
like, wow, that
it
was
didn't
just
really. It didn't really matter. No.
yeah.
I just had the fiddle player Gene Lowinger, who played with Monroe in the mid '60s, on my podcast. In fact,
Cool.
this week, he said that Monroe loved to challenge his band by calling out songs live while they were in performance from like stuff he had done with his brother 30 years ago that nobody knew, or
Wow.
playing stuff in a key that they never played in. He said, "Let's do it in." He said he would like while other players were soloing, he would take his mandolin and go over there and like try to figure out how high he could sing. And then he would say, "Next song, let's do the next song in B flat instead of, you know, whatever, A."
Whoa.
He said that was it was his way of challenging the band, and it was also, I guess, a way of testing out new members to see if they could handle, like if they freaked out or could actually do it.
Oh my
Anything
gosh.
like that ever happen with you, or like like a let's mess up Brittany and play it in C sharp major?
No, luckily, no,
No,
nothing quite like that. Maybe
yeah,
it's still coming.
I thought that was pretty funny because I guess from what he said, Monroe really was like to test people, and if you stood
Mm.
up to him, you were good. If you didn't, you were too wimpy for his band.
Wow, yeah, I don't know if I would have
Interesting.
survived that.
Yeah. So I know when guitar players get together, they mostly just talk about picks, like use a tone slab or a blue chip. What do fiddle players talk about when they get together?
Um, sometimes strings, sometimes bows. I don't know. I think we're always comparing our gear as well, like you try my fiddle, like, or I just put on this type of E string or whatever. Um, tunes,
Hmm.
like what tunes are you learning? That kind of stuff. I don't know. I do think it's like it's a little different than like I think I'm like more bonded to my fiddle than like most like guitar players I know who have like 10 guitars. Or maybe not 10, but like
No,
several, or
some
they
have
like to
many more.
borrow their friends or yeah.
No, a lot of them have many more than 10. I've noticed they just have this, whatever you want to call it, disease or habit. They just have to have the one they see next.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think most fiddle players I've talked to have the same fiddle they've had. They might have a couple, but they have pretty much one that they play all the time and have for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you get attached.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, let's talk a little bit about bluegrass, which is kind of where I come from. I mean, I'm from New England, so I'm not from Kentucky, but it's the music I love. Um,
Yeah.
so I've seen a lot of videos of you. One in particular, I think you were with Michael Daves and some people, Sarah Jarosz playing the song, the tune June Apple.
Hmm.
I think you played a lot with Michael Daves, right, over the years.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I just was taken by when you took your solo, the band just came alive with energy, like they all got jolted with electrical prong. You had no, you just had this way of um, an energetic way of getting a band to fire up a little bit. I think I'd like to see that energy bottled, and I'd like to drink some of it because it's really it's just I'm just giving you a compliment. Okay, I guess
Well,
it's just
thank you. I
I love
appreciate
the way
it.
that fires up a band when you hit that fiddle note.
Thanks.
Um, let's talk a little about singing because we haven't talked about that. And I know you, and I
Okay.
saw you with Ben Garnett in Providence. You did sing a song.
Mm,
The sound system. I have so much trouble with these sound guys in acoustic music. God, they're just mostly terrible. Um,
mm, mm.
but you did, and I've seen you do a song called Pony Boy on YouTube. So you do
Mhm.
sing.
A little bit, yeah, here and there. Trying to get better at it, It's like I've focused on the fiddle for so long and just been like, I'm not a singer, or like I maybe I'll sing harmony, but it's scary. And now it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so useful. And it's so awesome. People love it, and it's fun to join in.
Hmm.
And yeah, in Punch now I get to sing harmony because Gabe sang a lot.
Right.
So I'm one of the two harmony singers, and it's fun, and I want to be better at it. So I gotta work on it. I gotta keep doing it.
Yeah, I guess I know a lot of people who either never sang and now do, people like David Greer, who realize that when you sing a song, it takes all the pressure off your guitar playing for a little while because you're singing. Otherwise, you're just playing, it's totally focused on your guitar work for him. And that's a long 40 sets of just guitars,
Hmm.
a lot of stuff you can't mess up. With singing, you can kind of play rhythm. And so I love I love it when people sing. I know when Tim O'Brien and Brian Sutton played here, which was actually a duo that Tim had played here a few times, and I said, anybody you would play a duo with? And he said, yeah, maybe Brian Sutton. And they did. And Brian really wasn't singing at the time. but with Tim he had to sing because every song had a harmony part. So,
Yeah,
and now
cool.
he's singing all over the place. So
That's
maybe
great.
that'll be you.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm definitely wanting to do it more, and it's like I'm at that phase where you're like, I know I'm not like really good at this, but like I won't get good unless I do it.
Yeah, well, you have a good voice. I mean, that's the main thing,
Thanks.
and you have perfect pitch. So you're going to hear when you're not quite there. So
Yep.
a lot,
Totally.
especially harmony singers, if you don't have good pitch or intonation, it can be, you know,
Hmm.
it can be discouraging, I guess, because it doesn't sound good right off the bat. You're probably going to say, "No, I'm just not suited for this
Right, right. And singing harmony
singing."
is such a cool thing because you kind of get to like you learn a lot from the people that you're singing with. And I've been lucky. Like I've gotten to sing with Michael Daves a bunch. I've gotten to sing
Hmm.
with Aoife a bunch. Um,
Yeah,
and now with Chris and Critter. So that's I'm very lucky.
yeah. So have you been working on stuff with them? You probably have, right? Ready for the tour you're doing
Yeah, yep. We start touring in mid-May. So
mid-May.
it's coming
Yeah.
up.
So when you're doing harmonies, you do you how do you work out harmonies or how do you work on harmonies with them on a song? Do you do it like go through the song altogether and then add one harmony and then add a second, or do you do the harmony part completely separately and then fit it into the
Um,
song?
I guess
Is there a
like
method there?
uh well, most of the stuff that I've sung with them so far is like their older repertoire, so the harmonies are already figured out, and then I just have to learn the part and figure out whether or not I can do Gabe's part, or if we have to swap, where I take Critters and he takes what Gabe's saying, 'cause I can't get
Mm-hmm.
down that low. Um, so yeah, it's mostly just been doing the parts that exist, and sometimes we isolate them and sing like without the music, to get like phrasing and stuff like that. But yeah, I think when we've been like working on a new thing, it's usually, yeah, maybe one at a time, to make sure we
Mm-hmm.
get the notes that we want.
Yeah. So a band like Punch Brothers, what is it? What is it about that band that like motivates you or makes it so fun to play with them? I mean, I know it's intricate. They're all amazing musicians. They have a long history and reputation. They're friends. Is there anything special about just that band that really attracts you, that makes you happy to play with them?
That's such a nice question. I feel like I don't even like know the full extent of it yet because it's kind of like still very much evolving, or at least like my role in it and what it feels like. And the more that we get to do it, like I'm really excited to have these like several months of extended touring because I think I'm gonna feel more a part of it. You know, there's like this thing at the beginning, like when you join a band that exists, which I had also done that with Crooked Still, been a fan of theirs, and then was suddenly in the band, and you almost feel like you're doing karaoke. It's kind of weird. You're like, I can't believe I'm here, and like I'm now doing this part. Like I'm just used to like listening to it, and now I'm in it. So
Yeah.
there's an excitement to that, but I think like the more that I play with them, the more I'll get to like kind of experience the like push and pull, which I think is the like really thrilling thing about being in a band with anybody is just like noticing how you react to each other and how you can like really like fuse your sense of time and pitch and all that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you know Richard Green, the fiddle player who was with Monroe, who lives out in California? You know
I've
him?
only gotten to hang with him one time, but yeah, I know his
Uh,
playing well.
yeah, he was on the podcast. He's, I guess, can't play fiddle anymore and is a really good photographer. You probably know that.
I didn't know that. That's
You should
awesome.
check his website. He has beautiful photographs. Absolutely amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, but I don't think he can play fiddle anymore. He's some thing with his hands. He just
Okay.
had to stop.
Shucks.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the history of music that you would have liked to sit down and play with
Hmm.
that you didn't get a chance to in any genre of music? I mean,
Oh.
high fits or
Oh,
Monroe?
wow.
No,
That would be
I'm throwing it out there.
scary. That would be really scary. Any of those, like, I mean, Paganini, like that'd be fun to kind of like see what he's doing.
I mean,
Uh,
a lot of those great old classical players were did improvise. I mean, classical improvisation was a part of
right.
dances and things in the day, and now it seems like it's not as so much. I don't know. Like Paganini probably would have loved to jam for an hour.
Yeah, I bet. Totally.
That would be one for the ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, I'm just running down my last few questions here, and this is a non-music question too, but um, what would people be surprised to learn about you? I mean, people know your music and your career very well and all of that, but is there anything about you that's really surprising that you want to throw out there to the world?
I don't know where
Oh
should I
gosh,
begin?
I don't
Um,
know. In
uh,
some ways, it's not really a fair question because I mean, I probably couldn't answer it, so I shouldn't expect you to. I just thought maybe you had some interest or hobby or some quirk thing that you do that would people say, "Whoa, I wouldn't have expected that."
I
Like
don't know.
what is your hobby? Do you have a hobby
Uh,
aside from gardening and all that stuff, which you
yeah, I don't
love to
know.
do?
Nature, yeah, hiking.
Yeah,
I don't know. Try to cook. Not great at it, but I enjoy it. Reading. I don't know.
yeah.
Kind of like the
So
normal
those are really
stuff.
weird things, cooking and reading. Wow.
You know, right? Um,
Oh,
I make a really good cherry tomato pie.
oh, nice. Never had that. Is that a
It's a
family
Martha
thing?
Stewart. No, it's a Martha
Oh,
Stewart
Martha Stewart.
recipe.
Oh, yeah. So,
But
do you and your sister are you like friendly all the time, or do you, I know you play together? You're actually playing here in August, but do you
yeah.
guys hang together a lot,
Lately,
or
most of our hanging has been like work related, but it's really great because we're so similar. You know, it's like easy to just kind of fall into a rhythm of like working, like cooking together, like going on a walk to get a coffee, planning the next tour, watching some TV. Like it's very easy. Like the duo setting and just that it's my sister, you know, and we were like
yeah?
so similar.
Does she live also in Nashville, or is she out
No,
California
I
or
wish she did. She lives in Spain, in Galicia.
Spain? Oh my,
Hmm.
that must be a nice place to live.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So, do you get over there to visit her much, or is that kind of hard with your schedule?
It's yeah, I haven't been able to visit a lot, but I've been a couple times and it's really great.
Yeah.
Lovely spot.
Do you like to travel? Like, do you take vacation travel trips anywhere in special?
Yeah, I mean, I end up traveling so much already, but yes, I do. I think I'm like just hooked on it. Like that's just the lifestyle that I'm used to. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've had some really fun, exciting trips in the past, and I hope to keep doing that.
Do you have one place you like to go back to? Like my wife and I like to go to Italy, and we've been a lot of times, and I just love everything about it. I don't know. I'm not
Mm.
Italian descent, but I just love it. Just feels comfortable and beautiful to me. Any place like
Yeah.
that for you, you just like to go back to and just soak up, or
Um,
is you like to go to different places?
I like to go to different places, but I don't know. I have some favorites like Scotland and Sweden. I feel
Mm.
pretty comfortable in both of those places.
Yeah.
I got to go to well, I'm gonna go on a backpacking trip in Australia. I'm excited for that. I went to New Zealand one time for fun, like connected to a tour in Australia. That was
Hmm.
amazing. I got to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. That was pretty cool.
Mm. Whoa.
That was via a fiddle friend connection.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I like to.
Do you always bring a fiddle when you travel, just in case, like, or
Yeah,
whatever? I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah,
mentioned Scotland and Sweden, where I know there's music there that you're interested in. So
totally.
you also know people there that play, so you probably go visit them and play at the same time as you're
Yeah,
touring around museums and whatever.
totally. Honestly,
Yeah.
most of my travel is because of a gig, but like I like to like build in some other things around
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to it's kind of early to promote a gig you're playing here at the end of August. And it'll be all on my website and stuff, but anything else you wanted to say to the viewing, I mean the listening public, not viewing, they're not looking at us, they're just listening. I make sure of that.
Well, yeah, I guess with the timeline, I don't know what makes sense, but I do like a bunch of I'm about to release a bunch of music, so I'm excited for that to share that when it does come out. Another record with my sister, a Punch Brothers album, and I've just made a solo album of like some songs and
Hmm.
new tunes. So,
Do you sing on the solo album at all?
mhm.
Oh, okay, folks. So you can listen to Brittany sing. You can
Eee.
encourage her to sing by buying her record. So these are all available on your website.
Not yet, but they're coming
Oh, they
soon.
will be.
Coming
They will
soon.
be.
Within the
Gotcha.
next six-ish months, I would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that was a fascinating talk. You can go back to your pruning and whatever you or whatever you want to do. And I look forward to meeting you in August in Connecticut with your sister. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. It was lovely to talk with you, Chris.
I will send you the link if you care to listen to yourself talk.
Maybe.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Very good. All right.
Question.
Thank you. Okay. I'll see you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye. I hope you enjoyed our podcast, and thanks for listening. Visit our website, guitartownct.com, for concert and podcast schedules, or just to send us a message. We'd love to hear from you.